Hello and welcome to the Team Bus. This is the little sidebar podcast that goes along with our main show, Beyond the Slipstream. My name's Matt Harper. I'm here with my brother Justin, and we're going to get into some stuff that we didn't get a chance to talk about on our main show today. Um, First thing I want to talk about is the Tro Bro Leon race. Did you watch that one?
I did not. I did not. I had so much racing to watch and a full work week, and I did not get to see this one.
All right, I'm going to run through this real quick. I just got a
Sure.
couple of notes, but it's interesting. First of all, it's a one-day race. It's in the north of France. It's like just when you thought the spring classics were done and dusted, you get this insane race that goes through Brittany. This is like a little spit of land out off the western coast of France, and there are sectors of like tractor paths. I'm not kidding you. Like two lines with grass growing in between. The weather was shit. They're muddy. It's just dirty and crazy. There's, people standing out there in the middle of fields watching people go by. It's nuts. Like some of these sectors are it's literally just somebody's field with a tractor path going down the middle between two pieces of farmland. It's nuts. Tons of crashes. There's a crazy replay at the Erasmus Tiller goes off one of these tractor paths and over the handlebars, like just straight over the bars, and it's just like face first into the tall grass. You could kind of enjoy that one because it wasn't like on a road or something. He like landed in the tall grass and got up and dusted himself off, but it was nasty. Anyways, so there's another funny moment. 43 Ks to go. This guy Bastien Tronchon, he's out in front by himself. 43 Ks to go. He's got 10 seconds on the chasers. He makes a wrong turn and goes into the parking lot, right? And it's just like, what's going on here? So when you go back and you look at the replay, it was right at the start of one of the sectors. Okay. So he's gone into the sector or he's headed towards it. And there's a sign there marking that it's one of the sectors. Well, on the on the left hand side of the entrance, it said two. On the right hand side of the entrance, it said 11. And these are like big signs, like this big, marking the sectors. On the right hand side, it said 11 because this sector, it was a circuit. So this sector was being used as sector 2, and then they come back around, they do it again as sector 11. And then to the right of the 11 sign is the entrance to this like parking lot. And I think in the heat of the moment, he just looked at it and he thought, okay, since the two's on the left, that must be the road on the left. And since the 11's on the right, that must be the road on the right. So I'm going to the right. And he goes off and suddenly like, it's like, oh crap, I'm in a parking lot and like has to turn around. And by the time he turns around, the other two riders that are with him have just like zoomed right past him. I'm like, oh my God, that sucks
Wow, that's
so bad for that
heartbreaking.
dude. But anyways, guess who wins the race? None other than Bastian Tronchon, the guy that
So he comes back and wins.
comes back and wins. Not only that, remember the guy who won one of the stages in the Dunkirk, Pierre Gauthierat?
Yes.
Decathlon AG2R gets 1-2 in this race. And I have to say, I always love a solo 1-2 by the same team. Like it's a
Yeah, yeah,
moment
yeah.
you get it like once or twice a year where it's like 1-2, like two guys from the same team, and it's always so nice when they get to like, what are they gonna do? Who's gonna get to win? It's just it's fun. It's fun. So cool race. Trobro Leon was one that I'm definitely going to be checking out every year because that's an interesting parkour across those fields. And then the last little detail about that, it's in Brittany. The highest placed Breton winner of that race gets to go up on stage at the end, and he wins a little piglet that he gets to be the caretaker of for the next year. So I believe like they actually get a live piglet, and I meant to go back and see like look at some podiums from years past to see if there's actually a live piglet on stage. This time around, it was a little like wooden pig. I think it was it was Valentin Madawa that won it, but I just thought that was a cute little detail.
That is
So
cool.
so that's my own. Well, my other I do have another cycling one that you'll be able to comment on. I'm liking the evolution of what's occurring. Geraint Thomas's podcast. You notice who was on there this week?
I didn't see who was on there this week.
It was um
I
it
haven't
was
listened
um
to it yet.
it was the main guy that he does. GCCS or what he does, the
Tom.
Geraint Thomas GT. Yeah, yeah, Tom Fordyce. But then he had it wasn't Timon Aaronsman. He had one of the other guys from Ineos though. That's like a current rider. Was it who's the one they love? I
Um,
can't remember. Anyways, but I like
Kwiatkowski?
no,
Kwiato?
no, 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 no. It's I can't think of it right now, but it'll come to me. But I like how they just kind of they just like plug and play with this thing. Sometimes Luke's on there, sometimes Garrett's on there, sometimes Tom. Like you never know who it's going to be, but it's like this sort of evolving cast of characters. And I think this is sort of like a stopgap until Garrett retires, and then it'll be him full. It'll probably be him and Tom full time. Although I don't know
Okay.
because that's the same ones for the GTCC. So I don't know. Maybe
Well,
it'll
it
probably
doesn't look
it'll
like
probably
Luke is going to be on GCN, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Luke. I don't know.
no. Luke works for AG2R now. Decathlon. So, anyways, I just wanted to mention that I like the way that's going. That I got one other thing, but it's non-cycling. You got some cycling stuff?
Well, I was going to say, let's. Do you want to bring up those couple of things from the Giro that you didn't that we didn't talk about?
Well, there was one thing on one of the stages here. Let me scroll back up. Um, it was on stage 4, the day that Casper Van Uden from Picnic Post NL won that sprint. There was just some interesting stuff like in the beginning of the race they were going past all these like crazy like carnival floats, and it's just like, we're back in Italy. Like it was so
They've been
Italian. There's like,
all over that race. I've seen
oh yeah.
floats in multiple places in that race.
The ones on stage 4 were amazing. And just you get these incredible crowds in these like tiny little nondescript towns. Um, they went through this one intermediate sprint at 53 Ks to go that was like so cool from the front on shot, because like the town had these like metal like filigreed like archways that are going over the road, like that multiple ones with like stuff like strung up above and everything. It was super cool. And then the one other thing I wanted to point out, they didn't say what it was in the commentary or anything, but you could clearly see it, and that was just like this giant like circular piece of road. It was like a perfect circle. And I'm like, all right, what is that? I have to look this up. So I went and I found it. I found it on a map. Um, it's called the Nardo Ring, and it's from Wikipedia. It's a race car track, 12.5 kilometers long. It's round, has 4 lanes for cars and motorcycles. It's 16 meters wide, 52 feet wide. Has a separate inner ring for trucks that's like 30 feet wide. But here is the fascinating detail about this thing. So it's this big thing. It was it was originally made by like some Italian car company, and then Porsche bought it. But here's this crazy detail. In the car motorcycle ring, the lanes are banked at such a degree that a driver in the outermost lane doesn't need to turn the wheel while driving at speeds of up to 149 kilometers per hour.
That's crazy.
Like, boom, they lock it in and they can just kick back and, like, let's see how fast this baby can go. Is that crazy?
That is crazy.
The, the Nardo ring. And it looks so bizarre. You're looking at the map and there's like a town here and a town there. And then all of a sudden there's like this, like, round spot. Pretty wild.
Interesting.
Um,
Um, did you see? And I really wish I had made a note about it, and I didn't. Did you see the goats?
I missed the goats. I heard everybody talking about the goats in my
Was
podcast,
that
but I did not.
was it in the Giro with the goats? I saw it.
Mm,
I just can't remember if it was the Giro or if it was one of the other two
yeah,
races.
it was in Albania. That's what it was. It was
Okay,
while
yeah,
they were
yeah.
still.
The goats thing was nuts. Okay, like the goats running across the road was it was just one goat, but they were like running along the side and it like came across and it almost took a rider out. It was it was crazy. I've seen
Yeah.
horses, I've seen dogs, now I've seen goats.
Now we got goats. Add 'em to the list. I'm looking through my notes from this stage, and I just wanted to mention one other kind of like. Well, also Rob Hatch mentioned that Olav Koy is rumored to be going to Decathlon for 2026 and taking Tish Benut with him. Did you catch that?
Yes. They talked about it like more than once. On the day when it rained and they trunk or they didn't truncate the stage, but they what do they call that?
Neutralize it.
Neutralized it. The day they neutralized it, they were talking about it a bunch, and I heard them like I saw your note, and then I heard them talking about it the next day, and I was like I hurried up and rewound and listened to the whole thing. But yeah, that looks like it's one of those wink wink it's done deals.
Yeah, yeah. The Tish Banuk going with him just kind of blows my mind. I feel like that guy's like an institution at Visma Lease a Bike. Like that makes no sense to me.
Well, and
I'm
it's
gonna miss.
like, do you put those two guys together? Like I, it's not
Well,
like you see Tej like leading him out all the time. Like I don't know, maybe, but that just might be something for Tej to be able to go after some shit where he's not.
well,
I
he's
mean, that dude rides in service of other riders constantly. So maybe they're gonna let him give him a little bit more freedom to win some stuff.
well, and I don't know the specifics of the contract, but depending on if he can get like a lengthier contract. I mean, he's kind of in the twilight of his career in a way, even though he still performs at a high level. If somebody's out there offering him like a really solid, 4-year deal, 5-year deal, something like that, maybe he's like, I'm going to jump on this thing and ride this out to the end of my career, come what may. So,
Yeah.
um, and there was, of course, lots more like really good Hannah Wall stage. And I just wanted to point out, Robbie was like, they were like complimenting her on how good she was at freelancing these post race interviews, and Robbie goes, Hannah Walker, of course you're walking, and then Hannah goes, Walker the talker on the move. I'm like,
Yeah,
you're a
she's funny.
fucking pro, Hannah. All right, what do you got?
Another Giro note. So I saw as I was scouring the news wires for my weekly run. The Giro is looking at a possible start in 2027 in Australia. What do you
Yeah,
think about
yeah,
that?
I heard that. I'm all for it.
Right?
I mean, so
I don't know how they do it, but they more or less the article said that if they do it, they'll have to do some sort of like 2-day transfer because it's
mhm.
so far. So, I mean, I guess you started a day earlier and you just have 2 rest days.
Here's why. Let me talk about the bad news first. The downside to this is always like the environmental cost, like of moving, hundreds and hundreds of vehicles and all this equipment, you know, long distances in order to do some marketing for a particular city or country or whatever. It takes a huge toll. And this is an ongoing debate within not just pro cycling, but just the world in general. I mean, it's the Giro d'Italia. Do the whole thing in Italy, and don't burn all that fossil fuel, so that you can go to Albania and do this thing. On the other side, it's really freaking cool when you go to Albania and start this race off. You know what I mean? It's nice that the
Well,
international flavor is
Albania
nice.
a bit different than Australia. I mean, if you do it in Australia, you're not taking your team bus. I mean, you're renting a team bus there. You're outfitting it with a wrap. You know what I mean. They're not going to ship those things over planes or water. I mean, the cost of that would just be outrageous.
Yeah, not for 2 days or 3 days or
Bikes,
however long.
the
I'm
bikes,
sure
yes,
it
you'll
is.
ship the bikes. You're not shipping the cars.
Right, right. Yeah, that's really interesting to think about in terms of logistics. But here's the other reason why I absolutely love this idea, because if you can go all the way to Australia,
The U.S. isn't far away.
my
Yeah.
God, like forget about it. If a Grand Tour ever came to the United States, we're freaking there. I
I'm
don't care
probably
where it
taking
is.
that whole week off, going to
I don't
all
care
3 days.
when
Yeah,
it is. We're definitely gone all 3 days,
yeah.
100%. So that's pretty
Um,
exciting. What else?
all right. So in transfer news, this one really blew my mind. There is a rumor about one Remco Evenepoel
Oh,
going to
rumor.
Ineos.
I'm reading your notes here. Like, what? That happened? How did I
No,
not
no,
hear
no,
about
no.
it?
This is a rumor. This is not a done deal, but it is. It's in the ether for sure. Remco to Ineos in 2026. That would be a coup for that team. I mean, you want to talk about a team that's really redefining who they are right now and in a rebuilding phase, and they're about to lose, their last of, well, I shouldn't say their last, but they're going to lose Garrett Thomas, which only leaves them with basically Egan Bernal as your main, you know,
GC guy.
aspiration. And I don't know, if that team really wants to compete for Grand Tours, like they need to make a move like this and get a rider like that. So I mean, I could see it happening. They still have a giant budget, but that would be crazy. That would be, I mean, phew. And I mean,
Wow.
Sudal is really more of a classics team. You know what I mean? It. I don't know. It just that would be very interesting. Very very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, definitely gonna be following that one. What else?
We really already talked about Astana and their points. I did have a note down there, but then even more unfolded. So, my last thing was something really cool that I came across in on Cycling Up to Date, and there was an Austrian extreme cyclist named Gerhard Gulowicz who died unexpectedly at the age of 57. It was a deep, it caused a deep shock across the sporting world. He has been taking place in this race across America. Have you ever heard of
All
this?
right, stop right there. We're gonna do an on-air production meeting right now. I am going to suggest that we add the race across America as our third topic for our June 15th episode.
Okay.
This is when we're doing the Dauphiné and we're doing the Women's Tour de Suisse, and we need a third topic. I can't believe this hasn't come up on this show yet, but I would love to dig into the race across America.
So you know about it.
Oh yeah, and there's like all kind of history. Like I want to get into like how it started and everything about it. I find it
So it is a
fascinating.
3,000 mile, all right, bike race starting in Oceanside, California, ending in Atlantic City, New Jersey, which
Are
is
you cool with
crazy.
me adding it to that
Oh yeah,
day?
absolutely.
All
There's
right,
so
all right.
much to
So
talk
we're
about.
doing. All
There's
right, I'm
been
putting it in.
fatalities. There is, all of this different stuff. There's also the race across the east and the race across the west. So there's like smaller endurance races that go from. So this one, the race across the east starts in Blanchester, Ohio, and goes 630 miles, winding through 5 states to finish on the famed boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
I
It
love
goes
it.
into the
We're-
Appalachian foothills of West Virginia and over the Appalachians and descends through the rolling hills and farmland of Pennsylvania and Maryland, across the Susquehanna and Delaware rivers, onto the Atlantic coastal plain of the Atlantic Ocean. The route offers the best of the American heartland.
That's amazing.
Right?
All right, I have added it. I have added it. We are doing that on June 15th.
But
Look
yeah,
forward to it,
so
folks.
yeah, we'll definitely talk more about it. But like wild, I didn't even know this thing existed, and I kind of rabbit holed on it, the other day. But I will save some of it, to talk about, and I'm sure that we'll talk more about Gerhard when we get to it. So, but what a cool thing. So you said you had something that was non-cycling that you want to talk about?
Yes. So I have finally caught up with a movie that I've been wanting to see until I heard about it. This came out earlier this year. I think it came out in like March or April, like in or February, March, April, somewhere around then. Um, and this is a movie called Warfare. Do you know anything about this movie?
This is the I want to see this. This is the same guy that did Civil War, right?
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
Alex Garland. He's the guy that wrote the movie The Beach.
yeah,
That
yeah.
Leonardo
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio started. And I remember reading this book like before the movie ever came out or anything. I read this book and it was like one of the best books I'd ever read. So good. He also wrote 28 Days Later.
Oh, I love that movie. They're making another sequel to that.
Oh, I know, and he's involved with it as well. It's 28 years later.
Yeah,
Um, I'm super super stoked for that movie. So yeah, so then he did that. Then he pivoted to started directing movies. He directed Ex Machina. Have you seen Ex Machina?
yes,
Such an amazing movie, like so cool. Um, and then he directed Civil War from last year, another phenomenal
that
movie.
scene with Jesse Plemons where he's like,
Crazy.
where he has those guys stopped, and it's like outside of that like mass grave, and
Hmm.
oh god, the tension in that scene is disgusting.
So bad. And then he also directed that movie Annihilation. If you ever saw that one, was a anyways, this movie Warfare. He is the co-director on this thing, and the other co-director is this guy named Ray Mendoza. Ray Mendoza was one of the team of Green Berets that participated in the I don't know if you would call it a battle, participated in the event that this movie is about. And it's from the Iraq War. It's the Battle of Ramadi, and it takes place. It's basically one day. It's November 19th, 2006, and um, you get a look at like what this like platoon of Navy SEALs went through. Essentially, they it starts like like pre-dawn. It's like dark, and they make a move on a house. They get inside and take control of it, and then there's like a family in the downstairs and a family in the upstairs. They pull the upstairs family down. They put both families like in one room with like a guard on them. Like, sorry folks, but like we're taking over your house today. Like, got shit going on, so you're just gonna deal with it. And so there's that kind of tension happening back there. But then like you see what happens to this group, and I don't want to get into spoiler territory with this thing, um, but I will say that it's it's one of the most like intense, unflinching things that I've ever seen. I remember listening to a review of it by one of my podcasts, and this guy was basically like, "Well, I guess I don't need to ever see another war again because like this one did it. Like this is the one." Um, it's just so insanely realistic, and it will just I feel like if you haven't been in a war or in a battle or whatever, like we know that all these wars have been years and years and years now. All the Iraq War and Afghanistan and all that fighting over there, and there's just been a ton of movies and press and media. I mean, it's been part of the zeitgeist for all these years, but like this thing has really come the closest and really giving you an idea of what that shit must have been like. It's so good. Like I cannot recommend this movie enough. Like the minute this thing becomes available, you must see this movie.
Will Poulter's in this, right?
Yep, Will Poulter. There's some other guys in there, some guys, some up and coming guys. Um,
I like that dude though, man. He's like ever since he did
right.
the We're the Millers movie, the comedy, man, that guy is just I mean, he's been in a bunch of different things that I've watched, but like that dude's really fun.
Yeah, I adored him in The Bear, and
Hmm.
I also watched that limited series called Dope Sick about like the um what is it the crisis, the drug crisis in
Oh, the
like
OxyContin thing
yeah yeah
with Michael
God,
Keaton.
yeah, with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Like he's in that as like he plays like a pharmaceutical rep. There's like this whole storyline about like these like drug reps that are trying to like peddle these drugs and stuff, and he's yeah he's fantastic. Um, but a great movie by a great director, someone that's always interesting, Alex Garland. It's called Warfare. Check it out when you get a chance. That's
Absolutely.
about all I've got. You got anything else?
Just the like I said, I started talking to you earlier, man. I started watching the studio, and dude, that like I went into it like really not having any expectation, but I was like, you said that you went in with one thing and kind of came away from it, with another. First off, like, hey, it's wildly funny.
Oh,
Okay,
it's so fun. It's so fun.
the um, it's also like extremely well done. Like the art direction is amazing in that show. It looks so damn good, and the cameos are ridiculous. But even more
It's
than the cameos, Ike Barinholtz just steals the show as
Which one?
as Ira. That's like the guy that they're like on the same level, right? But he's he's the guy. He's the guy that's like right under
below
Seth Rogen.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like a 42-year-old white dude.
Yeah. The guy
Yeah.
that in like I can't remember, it's like the 4th or the 5th episode when they did the Golden Globes. He's the guy that keeps getting shouted out by everybody at the Golden Globes.
Yeah. No, I love him. I love Catherine Hahn too. She is freaking hysterical. Her outfits are ridiculous.
Her
And
hair.
this is one of those shows. It's kind of like it's similar to Always Sunny in that it's all unlikable characters. Like every single person on there is just like the worst human being. You know what I
Ooh,
mean? And yet
in the
still kind of love them.
the awkwardness in some of the scenes is just so ridiculous. Like the thing where he's at the auction with the doctors. Like, oh my god, dude! Like that episode
The,
is so
the,
ridiculous.
the Ron Howard freak out
Oh
that one is so
yes,
great too. I love like
when
Ron
they
Howard
made
must
when he
loves every
makes
second of that role.
Scorsese cry.
It's so great. The Studio. What is it on Apple TV? I
It's
think it
Apple
is.
TV. Yeah, it's so good,
Phenomenal.
so good.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad to hear you're catching up with that one. That's great. You got to watch that other one that I recommended that time, Adolescence. Got to watch that Adolescence.
Dude, there's like 5 or 6 things on Apple TV that I want to watch. Like every
I
time
don't
I
think that one.
feel like every
I
time
don't
I
think
turn
that one's on
that
Apple.
huh?
That one. I don't think Adolescence is on Apple. I think it's on
It's not.
Netflix. It's only like 4 episodes, but
Right.
watch that. Watch that one.
But it seems like every time I turn Apple TV on, there's like another show where I'm like, huh, I think I might like that. So I don't know, man. But the Studio is hysterical, dude. Seth Rogen's kind of a genius on that one.
Yeah, great show. Great show for sure. All right, well, we're gonna leave it there. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. Ale.
Ale.
The Team Bus is part of the Beyond the Slipstream family and is produced by Harperama. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like, subscribe, leave a review, and tell your friends about us. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Ale!